First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Waha, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles in Israel who rule and teach well, to the Akims on the highways and byways pushing videos in truth and sincerity. Shalom. Today I want to touch on the royal crowns of Europe and the Bible. Here we have in front of us the St. Edward's crown, and the symbols we recognize already is the fleur-de-lis, which we can find a representation in 2nd Esdras 5 and 24. And of all the lands of the whole world thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof one lily. So we have that description of the fleur-de-lis, the French. So looking at this symbol, I was not too sure of the full understanding of that symbol, but then doing some more work on it, it seems to be called a cross patty. Once again, another French symbol, cross patty. What is the cross patty? Sometimes called a cross for me, the cross patty is recognized for its arms which narrow towards the center and for having broad flat ends. Here's a look at the rich history of this variant of the Christian cross, along with its significance in different time periods and symbolic meanings. Cross patty reminds us of the Crusades, which were a series of religious wars between Muslims and Christians between 1096 and 1291. The symbol was used as an emblem by the Christian military orders, including the Teutonic Knights and the Knights Templars, which defended the conquest in the Holy Land and protected European travelers visiting the region. The Templars were recognized by their white robes marked with a red cross. White robes, well, we know about that in the Bible. Here we go, Revelation 7 and 9. And after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Revelations 7 and 13. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? Revelation 7 and 14. And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. So you can see a biblical reference to the white robes of the Knights Templar. And here we have now the Imperial State Crown of England, and you can see the cross patty symbols, plus the fleur-de-lis symbols are also represented. And here is the banqueting house. This was a location of the execution of Charles I. I think it was 1629, and that was during the Civil War with Oliver Cromwell. And the crown, the coronation crown, was basically dismantled, melted down, and they were saying they don't know what actually happened to the crown. So when his son Charles II was coronated, they had to make a new crown. So just looking at when we see the symbols, two references going back to France, I thought let us try and do some research on France and the customs of royals there. See if we can get further enlightenment. And let's take a look there. Here we have a French cardinal in connection to the French royal family, and here they're going to tell us that Henrietta Marie, the wife of Charles I that was beheaded, visiting him and selling 12 stones, which would be from the crown that was disassembled, and now we're going to find out from this account in France.
Reflect, and he would count them. And he actually purchased these stones because Henriette Marie of England had to come to France, and she of course, as you know, the English Revolution didn't end well for Charles I, and she ended up having to sell the stones, so she sold them to Mazarin. And he purchased these 12 important stones. These stones will be the foundations of Louis XIV's, the young Louis XIV's collection. And he left them to Louis XIV in his last will and testament. The conditions were very clear. The stones had to remain together. He could not do anything with the stones, and they had to be called the Mazarins. So this is what the conditions were when Louis XIV inherited these stones as a young man in 1661. Now you see on the left, we have a rendering by Morel. He's one of the great historians.
As you can see there, there's 18, so he's added to the collection. But you see the stipulation that these stones should not be broken up, and when the cardinal died, he left it to the French royal family. And going back, here we can see this crown of Louis XV. You can see the fleur-de-lis with diamond symbols here, here, and here. So you can see these royal families of Europe were reading the Bible with the Apocrypha and made representations in their crowns. Here we have another information here of a crown in Germany from the Imperial crown, Holy Roman Empire, which Israelite brothers have said the Holy Roman Empire was actually Israelite rulership in Germany. So here we see what they've got to say on that.
Imperial crown is unique in that it has an octagon shape rather than a typical circle shape. This is because it is made up of 8 flat plates hinged together. 4 of these plates have enamel images. Depicted are King David, King Solomon, King Hezekiah, and, of course, Jesus. There's also a huge cross on the front of the crown and a single arch that runs from the front to the back.
Okay. So this knowledge now is lost in society. There's no respect and glory given unto the Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This information is more or less lost. It's not reverenced. It's basically kept out of the way of most people. These leaders do not want people to see the connection between the Bible and the royals in the past. And with that, I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah Waha Raka Kodash Amanawala Shalom.